Welcome to Sports Connection. I'm Darrin Joins, Williamson County Schools Athletic Director, and back from special assignment, Mr. Tate Mathews. Tate, I'm not sure if you got to watch the show from last week. I'm actually sure you didn't. But Dr. Qualls filled in quite nicely, and true to form, I had about 7 questions to ask at first, and I got through 2, and it took 10 minutes, and I had to scrap the last 5.
I did not watch the entire show, but I did watch clips, and you know, hey, you brought in the OG. You know, for those that know what that term is, the original gangster came back. He picked up where he left off. So I just wish you had had him draw up the wheel route that used to be on the board. But yeah, he did great. Hey, man, it's always cool to have that, right?
No, he was great. He was great. We talked flag football. We talked EIC, relationship with the Titans. We talked wrestling, how Grindstaff was really the guy that got it going, and Indy does not win our first region duels. They get beat in the final by Ravenwood, so that had to be a little bit bittersweet for Coach Grimes. Even though he's not coaching there, listen, he's pulling.
He's
for
paying
Indy.
attention.
He's pulling for Indy.
Yeah, he's paying attention.
And probably at the match.
Without a doubt, somewhere he was around.
He's creeping
Yes.
in a good way.
Yes,
Somewhere.
100%.
Hey, let's talk a little wrestling because we're getting down to the nitty-gritty here when it comes to wrestling. In Region 7 AA, and for our viewers out there, in the past it was A/AA, which did seem kind of odd.
Yes.
Now it's A and AA. So it's changed a little bit,
Yes.
which is probably for the better. But we'll just call it our large schools. Summit,
I like that.
Summit defeats Nolensville 48-28. They wrap up the top seed on their half of the draw in the Region 7 AA tournament. Down 12-6, get this, Tate. 5 straight pins. Jackson Borden, Jarvis Little, Jackson Masters, Braden Leach, Landon DeSelli. They go up 36-12. It's pretty much over then. Noah Feltz ends up clinching the match with a pin over Grant Fryer at 170. And listen, Nolensville's got a squad now.
Yes.
Coach Malzoni's done a good job there. And I'll say this, I didn't realize this till I talked to my man, Bubba Derrick. I saw Coach Derrick out at a Fairview basketball game, and he knows I'm a Fairview homer when it comes to wrestling. And he even mentioned to me, which I kind of liked, he said, I don't know if the Summit folks like that. Because, Summit's been dominant. I do remind people they had 1 loss last year, and it was Fairview.
Correct.
But the job Coach Miller has done at Summit, I'm telling you, is impressive. It really, really is, and they're continuing to be on the rise. They're going to have a shot in both those state tournaments.
Oh yeah, and well, we've talked about it. One, he knows what it looks like, right, with his father and Cleveland and being there, and but he's not the first, but I think he's the one to go all in on it. I think he was the first one to go all in on the club, right? If you don't have club wrestling,
That's right.
You're not going to do well at the state duels. You might get there, but you're not going to compete with Wilson Central and Bradley and Cleveland. You have to have them. And so, to my knowledge, he's the one who went all in on the club wrestling at first. Yeah, so he has. They've had some great years there. And Nolensville has really, really taken another step with their program. So to win 48-28 like that, and then you mentioned those 5 straight pins. That I was going to say that's kind of equivalent to like a 35-point quarter in football. That is putting it on you. 5 in a row, boom. And I don't know if I know you probably supported the Buccaneers wrestling program
Absolutely.
a little bit with Coach Roberts. I don't know if you've ever been in a gym, especially in a match like that where it's highly contested and 2 good teams, and those pins start stacking up on each other. The atmosphere in that gym gets electric. I bet that was really cool to be at.
It really does. Summit, we'll talk about this in a minute, but they'll take on Brentwood in the region tournament. They clinched with a 45-30 win over Centennial. Hey, and Brentwood, and really it goes for a couple of these teams. Fairview's one of them too. Brentwood's had some injuries.
Yep.
They've had some people out, but now that it's getting the right time, look out for Brentwood. Franklin, big news there for Franklin. 38-37 win over Centennial. That clinches the district for Franklin on that half. So, to fill you guys in out there,
we've really messed this up.
The district, you don't have to have a district tournament, but you could. So Fairview, because they have more teams in their district, they're going to have a district determine the top 2 teams to go to the region. The 2 large classes, they're fairly small, and those coaches basically decided, let's do it based on the regular season. We're going to have the top 2 seeds from each. It's going to be at Summit. Summit takes on Brentwood. Franklin takes on Nolensville. If you can keep up with all that, congratulations. If you can't, it's much like the basketball postseason that you have to explain to everyone every single year.
Bracketology, wrestling edition. That's a lot. Those are 2 really good matches, though. That'd be worth the price of admission.
No doubt. And the way they do it, which is really fun, they'll do that semi, and then right after, they'll do the final, which is going to be fun. Hey, here's some news for you. Here's some news that may impact that tournament. Nolensville got a nice little addition who wrestled against Summit and actually got a pin at 152. Tell our audience about that, Tate.
Trey McTorey came over from Brentwood Academy. He was a runner-up finish as an 8th grader at 113 pounds. It is in his DNA. It is in his blood. That is a wrestling family, and that is a big pickup for the Nolensville night wrestling team. He's going to be. You're going to read a lot about him in the next few years. I'd say there's probably more than one Gateway Tire Athlete of the Week plaque in Mr. McTorey's favor. But yeah, man. And again, you talked about that 2nd round pin that he got against Summit. Pins. That's where you can really make some noise. And so if you got a guy, I remember Coach Dalton, who you know, God bless Coach Dalton's soul. He's no longer with us anymore, but a Franklin legend, and he was my wrestling coach. But I can remember we'd go down match by match in a duel. Okay, Darrin, got to have a pin out of you. Tate, just don't get pinned. and he would say that sometimes. Like, I know you got no chance. Just don't get pinned.
And if you can, don't get beat by, 15?
Technical fall, right.
Because it's either 3, 4, or 6. Is that right?
I think it's 5. In a technical fall, 5.
Maybe it is 5.
And which it should be, because I mean that's
because it's close.
In some ways,
3, 5, 6. 3, 5, 6.
And he would literally say that. So when you got a guy that 99% of the time you can get a pin out of, it's pretty big. 6 points.
And I'm curious how you
and
feel.
I got the, hey, just don't get pinned more than once. There's nothing, I mean, talk about building your confidence up in front of your teammates.
So as a wrestler, I'm assuming we were doing the state championship thing, because I know that's not been around as long as what's called the traditional, the individual tournament, but you get team points. And maybe it's because I coach the team sport in basketball, not that this isn't. I love the duels. I like it better. I like it better than the individual. You?
I like them differently.
Well, the individual.
It's kind of like I like college basketball, but I like NBA basketball. But I like them differently.
Well, maybe it's this. I do appreciate this. If I've got a team that has no chance head-to-head with another school, you can have 2 or 3 wrestlers that can still win it all.
Right.
Which is cool. So I do like that part about it.
I do too.
But I love the strategy of I'm going to wrestle you at this weight.
Yeah.
Or you at this weight, and we're going to have a shot. I love that. I feel like there's more coaching strategy.
No doubt. Well, just go back to your guy, Bubba Derrick. He's got Clevenger, wrestling at a heavyweight or 220, or because that's what they need. That's how they matched up with them, right? So yeah, there's a lot more strategy that goes into the duels. It's exciting for sure. But again, McTorey, to steal your line, wrestling transfer portal wrestling edition. The transfer portal was very good to the Knights.
Patrick Whitlock line. Ravenwood 56-16 over Indy. Page gets a couple of wins over Cascade and Coffee County. Now let's talk a little bit.
Good win for Ravenwood.
No doubt. Let's talk a little basketball.
Hoops.
Let's start with what I consider to be maybe the best game of the week, which was Ravenwood Summit. And I'm going to apologize to Coach James and Ravenwood. I've been all year talking Summit's going to, and I still think when it's all said and done, Summit's going to make state tournament. But quietly, sort of quietly, Coach James and the Ravenwood girls, they're 4-0 in the league. They handed Summit their only district loss, and it's a Summit team that was actually at full force. So that was a big win for Ravenwood, that game at Ravenwood. against Summit. They'll probably play 4 times
Yes.
before it's over. And how about this, Tate? This week's gym. 21 3-pointers.
Yeah. Real quick, did you and Dr. Qualls do the gym?
We didn't because
He didn't know what to do.
he wouldn't. He wouldn't. Yeah, we didn't.
Okay.
I said
That's
it.
kind of our thing.
I said it, but
well,
I didn't want to have to stop the show. And
This is what I want
he
to
would
know
have
from
looked
you.
over there, or put the hat on. Like, no, you don't put the hat on for the gym.
That's right. Yeah, dude, just follow the leader. No, I've wanted to ask you about that. It's been like that for years now. I think a big part of it is the weight room. But the amount of 3-pointers that the ladies are making now. I mean, when you were at Franklin, everybody knows you all were you all even had a 3-point balloon made.
Yes, we did.
You all made a lot of threes. I mean, that's like, who was a good three-point shooting team when you were at Franklin and y'all were rolling? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Franklin.
Huh? I know. Yeah, y'all made 21 threes on your own, but seven threes by Ali from Summit, and Prestigard had 7 threes. Like, they are shooting lights out right now. It's just fun to watch how the 3-ball has become such a big part of the ladies' game. What I want to know is, I know part of it has to be the weight room. They're stronger now, but then is that they're shooting on the gun? Where is that coming from?
I think the gun's a big part of it. And, the thing about it is, to me, this dates back. The first person I really saw say, let's do this, and I saw this as a coach. I wasn't coaching yet, but 1987.
Something tells me we're going back to Kentucky.
Rick Pitino at Providence.
Yep.
Had Billy Donovan on that team, Delray Brooks. He basically said, look, this is an equalizer for us. We can't go inside and score inside like other people. Let's make this our weapon. And I think he was really the first college and down to do it. As a coach for me, I believed in that too. Now listen, you can't shoot them if you don't have people that can shoot them. Right. But I was fortunate. I was coaching a couple of schools that had shooters. And listen, if I ever did it again, I want guys that can shoot it. You talk about guys inside, I'm post guys, I love them. Give me dudes that can shoot it. Y'all can score 2. We're going to score 3.
That's what I was going to say. What's the line? 3s beat 2s, right?
I mean, I'm good at math. 3 is greater than 2. I love the 3-point shot.
Well, there were a lot of 3s in this game. And
hey, and people like to watch it, and players like to play in it. And listen, we like it or not, we live in a time and a world where when people move, they go, what kind of system would I like to play in? What's exciting? I'm telling you, people like the 3-point shot.
No doubt about it.
They do.
It's not going back.
No, never, and it shouldn't.
Well, here's what's most impressive to me. Bergen Ali hit 7 threes, 23 points.
Pretty nice game for Bergen.
And they got beat. That goes to show you how well Ravenwood played.
It really does. Prestigard, Natalie, for Ravenwood, she hit 7.
Yeah.
So between them, they hit 14 total. Reagan Grimes, 13 points, 11 boards, 7 assists. It was just an incredible game, and they're going to play. But again, with Summit, they're healthy now. Those seem to be the two that have kind of although Brentwood, they're in there too, and they're going to play Ravenwood this week, so we'll see.
But shoot it too.
But give Coach James and that squad credit because we haven't talked about them a lot.
No, and what a great job he's done, watching him grow as a head coach.
Yes.
And he's really kind of coming into his own as a head coach and a leader of that program. And then you got Miss Double Double over there. My goodness, man, Reagan Grimes, what she's doing, it shouldn't surprise anybody. But man, she's fun to watch.
I mean, I like going out on a limb every once in a while. I think she's got a shot to be involved in the conversation of the multi-sport athlete at the Wilco since she won it last year.
Is it really a...
No, wait a second. She won the athlete of the year, but the multi-sport was the young lady at Fairview.
Correct. Well, because she had 4.
That's right. But whatever award, athlete of the year.
She's going to be at the Wilco's. Maybe in more than one category.
I think so.
Yeah.
Franklin, 59-32 win at Independence. Amy Elliott leads the way, only a sophomore, 10.6 assists, 3 steals. Reese Melton and Lila Gardner chip in 10. Ren Doran with 7, 5 rebounds and 3 steals. They followed that up last week. There was a game that got shifted. They did lose 33-21 at Hillsboro. Speaking of Hillsboro, last week, Brentwood, a 45-42 win over Brentwood. Pretty good night, Tate, for the Ryan family.
18 for Sydney and 15 for Ella, and that's happened a couple of times.
Let's see. I mean, 18 is 33, Hillsboro 4. So Hillsboro, you beat them by 9, the two of them.
Tell me this: how does that happen? How is Hillsboro able to keep the Franklin game at a 33-21 score, and then it be 45-42 at Brentwood?
I think Brentwood, like it or not, Franklin, Brentwood's a little bit more dynamic offensively. I think they're tougher to stop. Franklin has several people that can score, but no one like Sydney. Yep. I mean, Sydney's just a difference maker. She can make them with people guarding her, and then if you focus on her, you got other people going to be open like Ella. She can make those. So having that great player, I think, really changed. Not that Franklin doesn't have great players, but let's face it, Sydney's pretty elite.
Yeah.
I think that's a big part of it. Hey, something I was happy to see, Tate. First win in the district for Centennial. They get a 63-48 win over Overton. Congratulations to Coach Hamilton. They were actually up 31 going the fourth quarter, and then they backed it off, let some other people play. So that score really not as close as it looks. So great job there by Coach Hamilton. Love the job he's doing. Sat behind their bench. Not that I have to critique him as a coach. It's just where I sat. Sat behind their bench the night they played Franklin. That dude's got it going on. He does. Doing a good job.
Oh, without a doubt. That program is in good hands, and it is definitely on the rise.
Boys and girls.
Yes.
Fairview girls, another tough loss. They're 0-4 in district play, but what they're doing is they're setting themselves up to get a seed that's low, but it's going to mess one of the top seeds up. Because I'm telling you, they're playing pretty well, just not winning these games. They lose 49-40 to Sycamore. They were actually down 2 going the fourth quarter. Then they drop a non-district game, 47-46 to Dixon. In that Sycamore game, Riley Dillingham, 11.6 rebounds, Mary Jane Kenton, 10 points. The flip side of that is this, though. When you've lost that many by a close score, sometimes when it gets close, you think you're going to lose. Just like thinking you're going to win. But if they just know they're in those games, they've got a shot, I predict that they'll make a pretty big splash there in the district tournament.
I'm with you. Spoiler alert come the tournament.
Paige, same story.
Thanks for playing, Tullahoma.
Same story, different chapter. Number 1 ranked team in the state, now 19-1. Only lost to Lebanon. They just rolled Tullahoma 55-24. Lily Wilkin, 15.7 boards, 6 steals. Brayley Bushman, 14 points, 4 rebounds, 2 steals. A lot of people with a few points because they get to play more people. But I think they're a team, and I say this every year, there's always teams like this. Let the tournament start. They're ready. Let's get it going.
They're ready. They're going back.
Plus they're playing teams. These people can't beat them.
No.
It's probably about half boring. You go to practice, hey, girls, you got to work on this. Coach, we won by 31. Yeah, that's great, Coach Brock. Just get over there and let us shoot some threes in practice. We got it.
Go get the boat out of storage. Let's start getting it ready for the spring because you are definitely the boat captain of 2022 in women's basketball.
No doubt. Nowensville, Columbia, that was a big district game that actually got moved because of sickness on Columbia's side. It'll be played January 29th. Boys' side, and I know you had Coach Wilkins on your show this weekend, but probably the game of the week
no doubt
was that one. It was a MyTV 30 game. I think there was a 104.5 may have been there broadcasting it as well. Independence with a 51-49 win over Franklin. Just a great game. Indy gets out double digits in the first half. Franklin comes back, and that thing goes down to the last possession, an out-of-bounds play underneath their own basket, and Independence breaks it up, so to speak. But really a good game.
It was a great game, and I'm sure it was a great atmosphere, and Coach Wilkins doing a great job there, as you well know. And but I loved for them. I asked him about this. I don't know, but I thought he had a great answer. And I've heard you say things like that too. But I think that was a really good win for Independence. That's not that's not characteristic of their team, 51-49.
Yeah.
But it just goes to show that sometimes there are going to be guys, probably the one off of Mallory Lane if you ever run into him, but they're going to keep that thing low.
Yeah.
It's going to be a little bit slower pace, slower pace, and kind of a defensive battle and to grind, which that's what they had to do. They had to grind that win out against Franklin and get a 2-point win, 51-49 like that. Chet Montgomery, who, he can score 17 points in a quarter. And, he's their leading scorer with 17 points for the game and to come out with a win. I thought that was, as the head coach of Independence, I'd have been really pleased with that. I think that's a sign that this team's tough and can win a lot of different ways.
Well, these two teams have
against a really good team.
A really good team. These two teams have this in common that always made me nervous as a coach. Independence has 3 guys in double figures. Montgomery 17, Witt 12, Bell 10. Franklin led in scoring by Jack Medalley with 21. But there's been nights with Franklin, they've had 4 guys in double figures. You can just write this down. If you're a team that has 3 guys that average double figures, you're good.
You're good.
It's just plain and simple.
Yeah.
Unless you're just like throwing the game or point shaving, if you've got 3 double figure dudes and they average double figures, you are a good team in high school.
And you talked about this a little bit when he was out earlier. When they're all there, obviously, but with Witt back in the lineup, Independence is a different team, right?
They're really good. He's got a physical nature about him, only a junior. And I'll say this, and look, we're not trying to fast forward to next year. I think Independence will be better next year. And a lot of it being they're used to Coach Wilkins.
Yeah.
It's different your first year. You're still trying to establish some things, and that never really fully gets established. But year 2, they'll be ready to roll.
You're a guy that's you've been on the forefront of, facilities and the locker room and things like that, and marketing. It's your background, right? The new Independence boys basketball
nice.
locker room, is that Coach Joines approved?
It's approved for sure. And listen, let's face it, you better do it. If you don't do those things,
It's pretty cool, man.
I mean, especially here, right?
Yeah.
In Williamson County. So they love it. Coach does a good job of promoting. Here they are coming to the locker room first. Mary Beth White, by the way, she's knee deep in it too. She loves it.
She loves it. Yeah.
She loved great AD out there in terms of supporting those teams and interested, and she's all Indy Nation all the time.
No surprise, but she is a great athletic director.
I'll tell you, they've got some good mojo right now.
Yeah, they're rolling. I like the football hire. They had a Hall of Famer before, so it's kind of hard to say that. But yeah, I love what they've done with Coach Stidham. It's rolling. I believe pretty big ceremony going on Friday night too. They're going to honor Robert Hassel III, so that'll be cool. Yeah, they got a lot of good things going right now.
Fairview, still ranked number 2 in AA in the state of Tennessee. They're 4-0 in district play after a 60-53 win over Sycamore. Kennedy Pendergrass, you talking about a stat stuffer. 20 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 6 steals. Pretty good night. Nathan Dillingham, 13 points, 3 boards, 2 assists. Shama Takap led the team with 6 rebounds.
How can you not cheer for a team with Shama on the team? I mean, he is the all-name team for sure.
He is. Coach McCoy gets win 100. I think it was that particular night. They also got a 15-point win over Dixon County. Another team, not quite yet like the Page girls, but they're getting to that mode where it's let's get the tournament rolling.
Yeah, they're going to make a lot of noise. They're playing really well, and like we talked about a few episodes ago, I really like the way Coach McCoy coaches, and he's got them tough enough. They got enough of that football mix. They're going to be fun to watch in the tournament. I like their chances. They're going to make some noise.
Ravenwood 57, Summit 41, snapping a 2-game losing streak in the district by Ravenwood. They had lost to Independence.
In a tough one.
Independent, 2-point game, and Columbia Central, another close game. Summit still looking for that first league win. Jake Mulder, 19 points. Matthew Williams, 13. DJ Starr, 10. Ravenwood's another team. Several guys can score in double figures.
I was going to say, there's your 3 double figures.
There it is. It usually means good things have happened. How about Centennial? Another team playing well, 57-55 win at Overton. Dominic Reed, a sophomore, leads them in scoring with 22. Matthew Busing, 11. Malachi Pointer with 9. The thing about Centennial's team, again, year 2 for Jeremy Moore, and let's face it, the 2 best players are sophomores.
Yes.
They are. So they're a team that I feel like the further we go along, the better they're going to be. You don't want to play Centennial in the tournament.
Nope. Nobody watches more film.
No.
Nobody scouts more. I
Yes.
mean, That's just the way he was brought up. Hey, by the way,
Yes, that's a whole nother story.
has nothing. Yeah, under a couple of them. It's not Wilco related, but today is Troy Allen's birthday.
That's right.
He's Jeremy's, like, I don't know, big brother, stepfather, something like that.
He is. I sent Coach a message this morning. You get that 500th win.
Yep, Mr. 500.
Love Coach Allen.
Coach, I'm sure Coach Wiles sent back, happy birthday. You're 100 behind.
Maybe more than that. Hey, Page boys, this is something Dr. Qualls and I talked about last week. Let's look at their overall record, 8-10. Okay, 4-0 in the league. And again, I don't know how the scheduling happened, whether it was already done before Coach Street got there, but it's perfect. Play teams you're not supposed to beat. He had football guys that were out. Those games don't matter. Basketball, it's about the tournament. It always has been, always will be. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to win 20 games in the regular season. As a coach, I always thought 20 wins was like, you got a good team if you can win 20. But what really mattered to me was the postseason, because it's what people remember.
That's right. Well, look at all those years, Dennis King, who you won't talk to a basketball coach in the mid-state who does not say he's one of the greats, one of the all-timers. And for years, he never could get to the tournament, right?
That's right.
But how many 20, I don't know, but I bet if you go back, there are multiple 20-win seasons.
No question.
That's not what he's remembered for. It's those state tournament runs that he went on.
That's
you
right.
know? That's what it's all about.
That's right. Both are great, but when it gets down to it, Page well served by playing those teams that were really tough teams for them. 69-53 again over Tullahoma. Ryan Lang, 14. Ethan Overstreet, 13. Andrew Kukala, 11. 3 guys in double figures.
Coach Street's doing a good job.
He is. Brentwood, tough loss against Hillsboro in a district matchup, 55-59 in that particular game. And they only scored 55 points, but they have 4 guys in double figures, which bodes well for Coach Bond and that team. Cochran, 17. Nick Degnan, 14. Davis White, 11. Grayson Collins, 10. So another team that's pretty balanced in terms of the scoring. Another team you don't want to play in the tournament.
I've said that from the beginning. I think come tournament time, they're going to be a handful. You got 4 guys in double figures. 2 of those guys are sophomores. And, Coach Bond got that job really, really late. And, it's different systems. You talked about it when they hired him. You've seen it up close and personal so many times, what he does defensively. And they're not firing on all cylinders yet. I don't mean that as a knock.
It's more a warning.
It's a warning. Get ready.
Get ready, because
They're going to hurt somebody's feelings in the tournament. And you got a guy in Cochran. He's a big who can go out and shoot the 3. I mean, he scored 17. But he's a guy who can go out and score 30.
Well, and here I am talking about offense, but a lot of times in that tournament when the shot's not really going down, you want to be able to play really good defense, and Brentwood's always going to do that with
Yes.
Coach Bond at the helm.
Yes.
Here's something exciting, Tate, before we talk about some of the matchups this week. As our viewers know, we're piloting in Williamson County for the state of Tennessee flag football this spring. It'll start in late March in terms of the games. The NFL, they got with the Titans and basically said, hey, you get a 30-second spot, something you're doing in the community. The Titans said, girls flag football. So they did a little spot from the press conference that we had. It aired on national TV for that playoff game. We had some young ladies there at the game. They were on TV as well, which I thought was really cool. Great national exposure for Williamson County schools, and specifically girls flag football, which we're pumped up about.
Oh, my gosh.
I had a ton of people reach out to me.
I did too.
Did you know that was on there? Yes, I knew.
I knew you knew. Yeah, that was awesome. Very cool. And you were in marketing. I would love to know what a 30-second ad cost in a playoff game.
The number of impressions.
Oh my goodness! So yeah, it was very cool, and it came from the press conference that was held at Nissan Stadium, and it was just a reminder of what a cool day that was for not only the district but those young ladies. So I don't know what the dollar value is on that, but there's a lot of people out there that I'm sure took notice of that and said, there they go again.
There they go.
I'm
Dang
sure.
it. Just when we thought we made some cool graphics.
Right. I promise you that happened.
They're on the CBS broadcast. A lot of people were watching that game, unfortunately,
That was about the only good thing that came out of that game.
last Titans game. All right,
That was
Tate, look,
tough, huh?
so you hadn't been here in a couple weeks. We'll go back. We had some picks
Yes.
a few weeks ago, and you beat me by one because the only game we picked different, you picked Brentwood girls. I picked Centennial girls. Brentwood won. So you're ahead. But I've kind of changed it up a little bit in terms of what we're picking this week.
Okay.
Because, look, I don't want to set it up whereas if it's all basketball picks and you end up winning, what's that make me, right?
Right.
Which,
Smart.
Same way it puts the pressure on you with football.
And
Because you're kind of
it's kind of like what Plaster used to say on the radio. Hey, man, don't get in an argument with me. Don't get in an argument with me on the radio. I've got the mic and I've got the dump button. You kind of the guy pulling the strings. So,
All right, let's talk about the Region 7 wrestling deal. So we're going to pick who we
This
think
is
is going to
great.
win each match and then who's going to win it.
okay.
Summit versus Brentwood.
Summit.
Okay. I agree. We'll both pick Summit. I'm going to pick first on this next one.
Okay.
Franklin, Nowensville. Franklin won in the regular season. The old transfer, I think, is going to make a difference. I'm picking Nowensville.
Nolensville.
Oh, you picking Nowensville too?
Yeah, but I think it's hard to say this because there's so many of them, but I think Coach Tomlinson would get my vote for Coach of the Year.
No question. I agree with that.
And that's not, just what he's done with that.
I agree. So we're both picking Nolo?
Yes. Well, I'm picking Nolo. You can pick whoever you want.
I'm picking Nowensville. And we're picking Summit to win? I'm going
Yes.
Summit. Okay, so that's a wash.
No movement there.
All right, so we'll go through these games. And again, this hadn't been planned, so we'll just kind of we're going to pick which game we're going to pick, boys or girls.
Okay.
So we're going to start off Ravenwood, Brentwood, Battle of the Woods, or Wood. It's going to be the girls' game.
Okay.
Because my pick, so I'm going to choose to pick the girls' game.
Okay.
I'm going to pick, it's at Brentwood. I'm going Brentwood.
Wow. Girls.
Girls.
Okay, I like that. I'll go Ravenwood.
Okay.
I'm rolling with she's not Mrs., Miss Grimes.
Ms. Jackson, if you're not.
Don't call me Miss Jackson.
All right, now it's still, because this game is going on this week too. So Centennial Brentwood's your pick. Is that going to be a boys or girls pick? The last game was a girls pick.
Well,
Sorry, audience, we obviously didn't practice this.
so do we need to change this up or?
You do what you want.
Okay, well, no, because I think that boys one's a pick 'em. So I'm going to go girls and I'm going Brentwood.
Girls Brentwood. All right, I'm gonna agree. Last time I picked Centennial, and that's the only one so I'm gonna agree. Fairview at Harpeth, boys. Now listen, this is a tough game.
Yeah.
That was close at Fairview.
You know what that is, don't you?
That means forget it. It's
No, that's the Rock.
I know, but
I'm giving this the smackdown of the week. I'm going with the Yellow Jackets.
well, it was my turn to pick actually, but
Sorry.
well,
I'm fired up. I haven't done it in 2 weeks.
It's boys, and I'm gonna go Fairview.
I still think it's the smackdown of the week. I'm going Fairview.
And
I'm
would
on
you
the train.
describe what's the SmackDown? It's like a new category. I know we've got another new category coming up soon that we'll talk about later.
Hey, who's the coach of Harpeth? Do you know?
I don't know the name.
Hey, what was that guy's name?
It used to be Jamie Wilson, but he's
Hey,
not
Alan
now.
Collins. Why don't you shine at me?
All right, your turn. Franklin versus Hillsboro. Franklin, Hillsboro. Listen, Hillsboro swept Franklin a couple days ago. That was a makeup game.
Yeah.
And it's at Hillsboro. Is it going to be a boys game or girls? And then who are you picking?
Okay. We've done 2 girls and 1 boy, so I'm
right.
going to go another boy, even it up. Plus, I know what you're going to do, and this will do a little separation.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. I'm going to go boys. This is the amount of respect I have for Coach Thweet, or as Jack Daniels used to call him. He never got it right. He was Coach Tweet. I'm going with Hillsboro. Hey, buddy, Coach Tweet over here.
Okay.
This
so
thing got off the rails.
So I'll go Franklin. I'll go
Yes.
Flagship.
All right.
Tate is going Hillsboro. Okay, good. All right, next game, my pick. Independence at Columbia. Let's stick, boys, because it's such a big game. This one's tough.
Columbia's good.
This is tough. Let's face
Martin.
on paper, Columbia might be the favorite because it's at home. But I say, not so fast, my friend. I'm going with Independence to win that game at Columbia. I've got ND.
I like it. And I'm with you, man. I want to pick Columbia because I want to try to separate this thing, but Columbia, and they're good, and I've heard, it doesn't matter. I'm rolling with the Eagles. My man Jet Montgomery, he's going to be, I'm going to say 27 points.
Is that all?
Do I get a, well, Columbia can play
No,
some
of course they
defense.
can. Of course. All right, next game. It's your pick, and which game's it going to be? Nowensville, Ravenwood. Are we picking boys or girls? We've picked 3 boys and 2 girls.
3 boys and 2 girls, but we've already picked Ravenwood on the girls, so I think we need to go Ravenwood. I mean, we need to go boys.
Okay.
I'm going with our man, the dean of Wilco basketball coaching, Patrick Whitlock, and the Ravenwood Raptors.
I agree. I'm going Ravenwood, and I've also got this prediction. As time goes by, I keep saying this, especially if they stay in the same district, that'll end up being Battle of the Woods-esque because of how they pull from those schools.
Oh, and no question.
Nowensville starts beating them regularly. If that happens, it'll change.
Yes.
Right now, Ravenwood's like, okay.
You know, they're still little brother right now.
That's right.
But
that could change.
we saw, Summit used to be little brother too.
We saw how that ended up lately.
Yep.
All right, my pick, I believe. I'm getting about half confused myself. Page at Marshall County. It could be boys or girls. Let's just say it's...
Well, girls ain't even close.
Let's just say it's girls just for kicks because I want to be able to say it. Page totally dominates, and I want to give you a chance to put that hat on.
If we're talking girls.
Girls.
Our man, Coach Ronnie Brock, 40-foot Donzie. Stop by Miss Mary Bobo's, get you a coconut cream pie for the ride home. This is a boat race.
Final game of the week, and it's your pick. Summit at Independence. Big rivalry, obviously. Okay. Border battle, Summit at Indy. It's also the WCTV game of the week. Are we going boys or girls?
Going girls, because we haven't talked about him yet. Coach Hill doing a phenomenal job with the Lady Eagles, but it's not enough. Coach Wild and the Lady Spartans get the win.
I agree, but you're right. Coach Hill's done a great job. I think you fast forward a year and 2 years down the road, you're going to see Indy be in the discussion on some of these district championships. That's just fun, Tate.
I love it.
It's like a new thing we did. Sorry we didn't practice it. We probably cost ourselves about 3 minutes because we didn't know what was going on.
Well, we'll have to take out a couple of... I don't think they're... Well, I shouldn't say that. They might still be an advertiser. I don't know. I probably need to hold that one back. I had a good one, but I'm going to hold on to it. Hey, real quick, AFC Nfc Championship Games. Who you got?
Oh, well, I feel like when you win a game like the Chiefs did, that's one of those that's a sign that something great's going to happen. So I'm going Chiefs. On the other side, if you can take out the GOAT, I'm going Rams. Although Bengals 49ers would be cool because they played in the Super Bowl years ago.
Yes.
But I'm going Chiefs Rams. You?
You're going to laugh. I'm going Chiefs Niners.
Should we add this to?
Yes. Chiefs Niners. And you've got Chiefs Rams.
Yeah. Okay, it's fun. Tate, glad you're back. Look, I loved having Dr. Qualls here. He makes me a little bit more nervous. He's not into scripts. He doesn't want to be pinned down with a script. He did a great job, but I feel a little bit more in my element this week.
I've been told. I know we got to go, but I've been told by few. It's probably the very large minority. But I've been told by a few people that watch the show that they like, kind of when we give stories. And I'll never forget.
Story time. Maybe that's another segment.
Dr. Qualls, the first time we showed up, he wasn't doctor yet, by the way, but the first time we showed up at game day, he talks about it all the time at Fairview. He's like, there's not going to be anybody here. This is going to be embarrassing. People are going to be throwing trash at us. We get out there. Coach Hughes and the Yellow Jackets got the inflatables up. It was great. Anyways, so he makes a script. And I mean, man, he was proud of that script. I think that was like 2015 or whatever, 2016. So anyways, fast forward, it goes on about 4 years or whatever, and he sends me, I'd quit looking at him because like you say, if we made it to the third line of staying on script, it was a miracle. So I quit looking at the scripts. It was either 3 or 4 years later, and I think we were at the Battle of the Wood, and it was a Ravenwood. And I looked down at the script, and it said, "Welcome to WCS Game Day. We are live from Fairview for the battle." He had not changed in 4 years. It was great.
Listen, we kid because we care.
He's brilliant.
And he can do it. And you would never know that in the audience. We love him.
Oh, hey man, there will never be another Dr. Qualls.
No, there shouldn't be.
And that's a good
He
thing.
broke the mold.
He broke the mold. The guys, He's a pioneer.
He's definitely a pioneer. We love him. We love you, Dr. Qualls, if you happen to be watching.
He's Elon Musk-esque.
And I got a feeling he is watching.
Oh, yeah, he's watching.
Tate, thanks for coming back.
Yeah, it was
Appreciate
great. Can't wait to see you next week.
Looking forward to it. And thank you for joining us for Sports Connection. We'll see you next time.